Uh, I hope that works. I started recording and said hi. Hi. Welcome back to YouTube. Well, welcome back to the channel today. We are hoping to take a trade. Before we get into that, let's check news, see where we are at, so that way we are not getting blindsided. There we go. There's news. You can see Euro, GBP. I'm not entirely sure if this right here counts for what we are after. I don't know about this one. This is a serious... Like, I want to see what this right here affects. I want to. It is March 31st, Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Good morning. Hey, what's up? Hello. I am very, 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 very awake at the moment, which means we're going to get the best trade possible today. Either that, or we're going to fail, and it's going to suck. One way or another. In any case, looking at USD, we only have one folder, and it's a PMI folder. There is no other USD here, and we are literally two hours before market open, 3 hours before taking a trade. That's what has happened right now. I figured I'd go ahead and queue up this video so that I could go ahead and just explain a couple things before we get too much further into trading, before we actually get to the meat and grits of the trade. If you watch and see the channel regularly, you'll know that I have an entire description, like, predetermined with the exception of the first line, right? The description is a host of links to various other platforms: Patreon, Twitch, other YouTube channels, TikTok, Reddit, the like. All those links are active. Every single one leads to a different platform, different social media altogether. My purpose in those links is to diversify the channels in which I post content to. So, for instance, let's just go to YouTube, for instance, right? YouTube, I have 4 channels on: Orb's Vault, Orb Plus, Orb, and Orb Minus. Orb's Vault is my streaming channel. Typically, when that channel is active, you'll also see on the Twitch account the exact same activity. The exact same streams being output to both. Neither are being streamed or recorded separately. They'll be recorded at the exact same time. On the note of streaming, I have found a workaround to my friends' potty mouths, and as a result, I can now stream censored content. Let me back up for a sec. Let me clarify. Let me mitigate some stuff right quick. So, for the past 5... Have I been posting for 5 years? It's 2025. I really started getting into posting stuff 2022, so 3 years. For the past 3 years, I have been way too concerned of what my friends say on stream and in recording. Because not only does it add an extra layer of work for me to have to go in and mute them, but YouTube doesn't like it when you say certain stuff or having a potty mouth. They just don't like it. You can't make money off of it, and that's kind of why I'm here, is to make money off of the videos I output to you guys. You guys watch them, like, subscribe. It helps me in the long run. It helps me keep the lights on and allows me to post more content so you guys can have something to watch, to enjoy. Orb's Vault and Orb, Logistic Orb, on Twitch are my 2 primary stream accounts. When I stream, it'll go to those 2 first. I have found a workaround to the censor thing, but it's a temporary fix. What do I mean by that? I mean, when I stream and someone has the urge to say, I'm not going to say a word, but let's say a swear, right? They get mad at a game, drop the F bomb, leave, and all of a sudden, yeah. I found a solution that is a profanity filter plugin on OBS. So when I go to stream, they are completely censored. YouTube's algorithm, YouTube's bots have no feasible jurisdiction to destroy my channel. Now, that is the hope. And my content can be further pushed out to a broader audience, even kids. Granted, a lot of kids already know swear words, right? In any case, that's the main purpose of those two. Let's get to the other three channels. We have War Plus. Hi, this one. This channel is primarily host to me, I, and myself. If I ever have any guests, they will be literally sitting next to me, and 99% of the time, it will be us either reacting to something, learning something, or it'll be just me literally learning a new skill. Kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm learning how to day trade, and as a result, I'm getting into the meat and grits of it in a single video. We've taken a couple trades, we've lost a few, we've gained a little. We've lost a few, we've won a few. Intermittently. We're learning. I am learning. At no point on this channel or in any of the videos where I'm learning how to do something that would affect another person's life will I suggest or have advice on financial stuff or anything important to the life and well-being of another person. I will never advise you on your life. That's not what I'm here for. What I am here for, specifically, when I make these videos, primarily is to learn. Ask opinions of someone else. Hey, do you think this strategy is an okay one? Do you think it might work? Do you think under these circumstances this is a valid strategy to use? Not a definitive yes or no, but a genuine opinion is what I'm looking for when I ask those kinds of questions on this channel specifically. From that, I learn, and I get good at a craft. Once I've mastered the craft, either I've been paid out big and can walk away and do something new, in which case you'll see it here on this channel, or I'll digress from posting as much and focus on my main hobbies. QN Orb. The Gaming Orb on YouTube, or just spelt out in plain text, ORB, Orb, right, is my number one go-to passion at the current time. As of this recording, I want to play a game. I want to go on a video game more than anything. That is my passion. That's my hobby. I'm wanting to make it a life. Make it into a life. This ties back into the streaming thing, right? That channel primarily hosts the shorter form of content, so the key moments in a stream comprised down into a small video, and then hyperclips, even smaller segments within that video, becoming shorts. All of that can be found on Orb, the Gaming Orb, right? That channel has my most subscriber count at the moment. 379, 78. We keep losing the one and gaining it back somehow, but yeah. Again, that channel is primarily meant for gaming. When I play games, I will typically stream them. I will post them to Orb's Vault as VODs. So you have the full MP4 unedited file. And then you have Orb, which is where I take the MKV file, I edit it in DaVinci Resolve, and then I post it to Orb, right? That is a shortened form, more censored, more edited, more doctored video of the streams I make. And then from there, shorts right after. My goal on that channel is to get monetized. And I know that comes with making decent content, actually being able to edit and then post it. Well, I ran into a problem earlier where my friends, the guys I typically play with, have potty mouths. They were born without a filter. And for that, I'm happy. I find it funny because there's a lot of stuff they could say that's pretty funny, but YouTube just doesn't like it. So that's my that was my dilemma until I found this workaround. And then I found Patreon. And we'll get into that after we get to the final channel on YouTube. But take the censorship off a stream and in those videos as a temporary workaround, because I still have to get another piece of hardware that will further benefit you and everyone else here. With that being said out the way, you know what Orb Plus is, you know what Orb is, you know what Orb's Vault and my streaming on Twitch is. Let's get to Orb Minus. Orb Minus is the one channel I designated on YouTube that I could show real life firearms. I don't think they could stop me for saying firearms. It makes a mode of curiosity occur, in my opinion. Firearms? You have arms of fire? Yeah. Don't you see this fire? Anyway. That channel is solely dedicated to my hobby in literally playing with firearms. Going out to the range and shooting stuff. Whatever it be. Of course, we demonstrate all the safety rules there, and we rarely break those rules. Sure, we'll get complacent at times. We're human. That happens. But I make sure while we're out there on the range having fun that safety is in check the entire time. YouTube just doesn't like certain things being shown on their platform, and so as a result, I've had to doctor those videos harshly. And this is a two-parter, because the harshness of the doctor of that video, of those videos specifically, are to a degree where I need to have, specifically speaking, like 6 different camera angles, right? And the ability to understand where and when I need to doctor them, right? Well, YouTube doesn't really say where to doctor. They just say, ooh, video. Does it have anything bad in it? Okay, let's delete it. That quick. And appeals hardly ever work. And when they do, man, are they like bittersweet. Because regardless if they get put back online, they're still age restricted. YouTube does not like the firearm content at all. Though there are plenty of other people on this site that love firearms. Go figure. In any case, that channel is primarily meant for that kind of content, and it'll only ever be that content. And the way I want that channel to work out is like super doctor. Think Kentucky Ballistics, right? Everything is super doctored on that channel, and if it goes, it's okay. I have no problem with it going. However, I would very much like to see it succeed as well. Without too many videos, I've managed to keep up with subscriber count. So for every video, I've actually managed to get at least 2 or 3 subscribers from it. And I am happy about that. However, this past year, I've had to relieve myself of a very burdenful job. And as a result, I no longer have money flow coming in, hence why I am learning how to day trade. Because of the lack of money flow, I've opted to stop recording videos on that channel until I can manage to make either profit from day trading or YouTube. The two of them are really my fail-safes, and I know YouTube's going to take a long time, much longer than the time I've spent learning how to day trade, because I'm still getting into YouTube, still learning it. So that's a skill I'm slowly learning and getting used to. Day trading, I've spent the better half of 5 years learning. Like, since I graduated high school, I went and found a video, found a friend. I'm like, oh, you guys do this? How do you do this? And they're like, yeah, you just do this and this, and then, yeah, you can go about your day, no problem. And the number one complaint they have about it is after that successful margin has been fulfilled, they find a lack of things to do. Like, they find a lack of things to do as a sign of not good, and so they have to do things, and that's just how they are, and I have no problem with that. Me in particular, I want to do YouTube. That's been my goal since day one. YouTube. And as a result of not having a job anymore, I have resorted to learning how to day trade so I can better pay the bills in order to produce the content I'm wanting to. With that being said, that is currently what we're doing on this channel, is to pay those bills and continue with recording and editing and posting and actually getting good at YouTube. With all that being said and out the way, let's talk about the newest link in the description and in the channel description. Yes, you can find it in this description of this video right now. If you scroll down, go look, boom, it's right there. That link is to Patreon. Patreon is a site, and this is not sponsored, by the way. Patreon's a site that's sponsored. It's called. It's a membership platform for social media where you post content or links to content, right, that YouTube doesn't necessarily approve of, or they can approve of, doesn't matter. The point of my Patreon link is to host all of my content, Orb Plus, Orb, Orb Minus, and Orb's Vault, as well as Twitch's streams. The purpose is to have everything completely unfiltered, uncensored, undoctored, right? Because gaming is my number one passion. My thought process is I can stream and have the VOD placed on YouTube and then linked to Patreon. I'll post it as unlisted and then link it to Patreon, and from there you get to see the video. The flip side to that is the tier list, which I'm partially against, but I see the benefit in. My thought process is, for those of you who want to see the unfiltered, undoctorated stuff, right? Because I can't post that to YouTube unlisted. It has to go to Patreon. It has to go somewhere else and then post it to Patreon in order for anything to occur with it. So when I stream, I record a VOD. And at the moment, all of it's censored. All of it's completely void of profanities. So, from OBS, I have two files, an MKV and an MP4. The MP4 is what I usually upload to YouTube, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. Until I can get the hardware needed to record the uncensored versions of it, Patreon, I think, is going to remain inactive. Temporarily. The uncensored version, when we get to that goal, is going to be on the highest tier, because it is the one piece of content that I can confidently say, well, because gaming's part of it, I'm gonna change that. Not the highest tier, but the lowest tier, right? You have the free users, right? Because Patreon can be free. You have the free users that enter, right? These users will have the opportunity to see any of the content I have linked. They will see any of the content I have linked before it's posted to YouTube. So, and that'll be on rotation. I'll have like a Google Doc. I'll figure out how to set that up to where I can post a video to Google, schedule it out, and then have it linked to Patreon so you guys can get the preview of it, and then when it's released to YouTube, you can see it there. That's the only thing that'll occur between that and that. Shorts are previews by default, and every single one of those are going to be posted to YouTube public before the video, and will be linked to Patreon, so you get the full gist of, hey, look, here are some preview shorts, video, preview shorts, video, in that order, right? And that's on the free entry. That's the free level of, hey, go to Patreon, sub to the page, and boom, there you go. For those of you who are looking for the uncensored versions of everything, look no further than the tier 1. Let's call it the free users tier 0. We have tier 1, which is our very first paid tier. I don't like the expensive crap of it. So I'm going to charge $1 a week. I think that's fair. You want to see the uncensored stuff, and I record 3 days a week. Right? I stream 3 days a week. If you want to see the uncensored, unfiltered, complete chaos that is everything that happens in the stream without the mean filters, tier 1. Tier 2 is going to host a variety of the gaming stuff, as well as or plus stuff. It's primarily going to be a lot of this, learning new skills, and then, of course, gaming. And for the dreaded final tier, and that middle tier is going to be a mix, so I imagine like $5, because I am learning this. This is my experience that I am learning firsthand, like secondhand, because I'm learning from someone else who had to do this all on his own, right? For that tier specifically, I'm thinking $5 a month. All like by default, I'm making less, but you get way more variety of content, and I intend on making this channel a huge plethora of just what? This is new. He does this? Are you kidding? Yeah. Yeah. Something like that. But yeah, $5 a month for that second tier. You get a variety of gaming content as well as or plus content. Or it might just be solely or plus content, because that is legit my experience that I am putting out to the public for you guys to interpret however you wish, or like optionally comment on. Give your opinion as to what could improve, what you think is not so good about the video. You get the point. The final tier and the highest tier I'm willing to do is $10 a month, and that is going to be the most expensive tier I do. And the only reason why it's so expensive is because YouTube, and the only reason that is so high up there is because YouTube and Twitch are so strict on their rules. I'm afraid what they're going to do if I just have it freely available and anyone and everyone could just see it as an alternate link, they could just click on it and move themselves from the platform. I'm not interested in taking the viewers away from YouTube or Twitch, but I am interested in keeping all of the channels on YouTube and Twitch afloat. That is the solution that is Patreon. As a result of that decision, Patreon's going to have on that final tier, $10 a month, all of the stuff from Orb Minus, Orb Plus, and Orb completely uncensored. Zero doctors, zero doctored videos, complete raw footage, as well as some posts from me. Hi, you actually get to talk to me, and I'll be on there like 30 minutes a day. You can say whatever you want. I'm literally just hello, hi, right? From there, it's just a matter of enjoy the content, really. I know that seems kind of steep from 1, 5 to 10, right? Again, the goal is for me to keep the lights on, for me to pay the bills and actually be able to produce a quality video without worrying about everything else under the sun, you know? Yeah. And again, Patreon won't become a thing until after I get the necessary hardware in order to start recording the uncensored stuff, because I am acknowledging the fact that I have a small, well, compared to usual, I have an overabundance of one kind of hardware and not enough of the other, right? In order to record censored content as well as stream it, and then record uncensored content from a different source completely. Say from a different source, from the same source, just two different iterations of it, right? From that being said, I think that's pretty much covered. If you're interested in looking at that Patreon or just giving your honest, hey, there you are, can I join this type deal? Feel free to click that link. Also, I am currently working on a Discord that hosts the same stuff, but is Discord instead of Patreon. And it's completely free, and it is our own little community, tight-knit group. Just say whatever you wish, obey the rules in it, learn from someone, enjoy the content, enjoy the friends made along the way, and from there, yeah, happy life. With that being said, and done and out the way, the personal PSA, just toast. Probably gonna have to like edit, like cut this up, and then just straight up into another clip for like an intro, so that way the next time I post a video or whatnot, I could just, hi, this, right? With that being said, I think it's best we go ahead and continue with what we've got right now on Orb Plus. What do we have on Orb Plus? We're looking at news. We're seeing a German preliminary CPI, and apparently it's in effect all day. I don't know if that affects the S&P 500. So with that being said, we're going to take this trade very cautiously because CPI is one of the folders we need to stay away from, and that is like a serious no-no. The only one for USD is Chicago PMI, and that is not one of the four we are after. So, with that being the case, I'm going to use this time now to look up. What was that? What was the currency? The euro? I'm not seeing anywhere that says it does, so I'm going to assume it doesn't. But again, we're going to approach cautiously to this. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and use that because it's in the way. I want to review what we did last time, to be completely honest. First, we'll go ahead and get daily bias just so we're on the same page too. I'm looking at a current down leg and an SMT divergence. Specifically right here, between these two candles. We have this leg down, right? SP says we're going further down, while the NASDAQ says that we're not, we're going higher. Regardless, I'm looking at liquidity that has not been swept on the NASDAQ and liquidity that has twice. I'm sorry, it has on the S&P 500. So I imagine the NASDAQ is lagging behind the S&P 500. I imagine it is. We did get a break of structure on this candle right here. We did close above this high right here. As a result, actually, we got a break of structure on this candle specifically. It was inverted. I imagine price is going to move higher. Why? Because an inverted fair value gap is a sign of continuation that price is going to move higher. However, we are in a general downtrend at the moment. And our purpose at the moment is to find where the day per today is going to go. Right now, I think it has time to move down. I think it has room to move down. How much? Not much, because why? It's got to sweep this liquidity for this break of structure to be confirmed, right? Break of structure is a sign that the trend's about to end. The liquidity sweep is what we're after. We need to see that, sweep this, and move higher. Again, per NASDAQ, we are going to be moving higher. I don't think that's not a fair value gap. This right here is, though. And this may have been to fill the breaker block, which is this failed retrace right here. Because we had this right here come back down. This was the order block. This was the breaker block right here, right? Failed retrace down. As a result, price continued to move higher. We had an order block. I want to call this an order block, but I'm wrong. This would be the order block here. Why? Because it was leg up that caused the liquidity sweep on the high here. We swept that liquidity, and now we're moving down. But because of this break of structure indicating a change in trend, we're now looking for that liquidity sweep. For the S&P, we already got the liquidity sweep. And as a result, the price moved higher. It was off of this. We saw it move. But as a result, we are now within that retrace moment. And we've already, per Friday, had a huge leg down. This leg down filled several, it looks like, imbalances, starting with this, because price didn't know where it wanted to go, yet went all the way down here. This right here swept this order block, right? From that, prices were filled on the sell side, and so price continued moving down. We identified this last week as a breaker block, failed retrace back up, and so price continued moving down, and we are expecting that price is going to continue moving down off of this breaker block. But as it was filled for this inverse, for this fair value gap right here made, right? It becomes invalidated. The balance was filled, and so there is no more balance within the market. As a result, we're looking at a liquidity sweep, which is the sign of reversal after the break of structure that price is going to continue moving down. I think my bias is price is going to move down. So we're going to be looking for shorts on this trade specifically. Looking at NASDAQ, and the same thing is said here. We had a fair value gap here, and it filled from the top of this next to perfectly all the way down to there, right? So it filled that. Price was inverted. We had an inverse fair value gap here. We got closed below right on this candle right here, right? As a result, we see price is going to continue moving down. That is my logic behind it. I think it works out in that way. I think it does. From here, we'll move to the 1 hour. Let's go ahead and actually zoom out right quick, because I want to take a look at the trade we took. I want to take a look at it. Check it out. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this. We missed out because I was so dang tired Friday. You see this mess? And I actually stayed up. I stayed up all the way till about 4 p.m. I woke up at 7. So I only got 3 hours of sleep. And we missed out on all of this profit right here. We went all the way down here. Comment section. See this? This is what I get for having no sleep. Luckily, we changed that because I actually got a full night's worth of sleep last night. So, sleep schedule effectively changed. We made roughly, we were what, in a $3,000 deficit? Or no, it was $2,000. $1,900 something, right? $2,000 deficit. We are $2,000 in the positive. We made $4,000 from this sell entry to this buy entry. That's $4,000. We could have made another $1,000 because I remember the take profit was roughly $1,600. So 2,000 grand. We could have made $2,000 off of this had we have stayed in the market for that long. I didn't want to risk it though because of a folder that took into effect. The FOMC folder took into effect at 12-ish. I want to say this is by the hour, so 11, 12. The folder would have hit within these two here, and we saw that the indecisiveness of market here, and so we backed out of this in a fair time. We did this correctly because we avoided a potential reversal back to the upside. Yeah. That being said, let's go ahead and go down to 30-minute on both. Boom. Let's go ahead and clear the drawings because we no longer need last week's stuff. We just don't. Plain and simple. We're looking for shorts in this. So what are we looking for price to continue moving down? We're looking for a lot. Before we can get into looking for a lot, we have to go and mark our market opens, which is 20. Let's go ahead and change that to this. 4. Boom. We are right now 50 minutes from market open. That's 8. Let's go ahead and put one at 9:30 just to mark our soft entry on that. And we'll go down to 5-minute. Boom. We have to take a trade right at 9:50 or just after 9:50. This is our soft trade. We can take a trade within this, preferably in this is the goal. The goal is to see this continue to move the way we want it to. From this, look at session highs and lows. We'll do that on the hour, just so we're on the same page. Everything is gold, right? Boom. Before we get too far, we'll go ahead and mark the NASDAQ stuff here in a second. Highest point that market got. How do you identify a high? Up, down. Highest point between the two. Boom. Wild. That's kind of difficult to see, not gonna lie. Lowest point, down, up, lowest point, boom, right there. Highest point, actually, We got the highest and lowest point off of this candle. Down, up, lowest there. Which means we don't care about this specifically. But we do care about this right here. Because price can move within that. So we have this range we can go in. The daily bias screams down. But I'm looking at an imbalance because this made an inverse for value gap on this right here. So we might be seeing a brief level going back up. Again, this is a retrace back down. We got a breaker block here. This fair value gap cleared both of this and this. I can't count this because this was the order block. I want to say this was the break block. This is the imbalance we're looking at right now. And as a result, we also got a fair value gap immediately after. So price, I think, is going to continue moving higher. I'm not going to entirely marry the daily bias. Even though I see this candle moving down, I do believe we should be looking for a retrace within the next couple of days. Per the 1 hour, I'm looking at, again, an imbalance here, right? Very, very crappy price action. Because this makes things a little bit more difficult for me, but that's okay. This is a learning experience. I'm entitled to learn this. Right now, what I'm seeing is an imbalance in the market for the buy side. No one's wanting to buy anything. I see a lot of down. General daily bias says price is going to continue moving down, but we are at the bottom of a retrace off a break of structure. We swept liquidity on NASDAQ. Did we not? We did not, but we were close. I think price is going to sweep this liquidity specifically. I think this right here is a failed retrace on a higher time frame, potentially the weekly. Let's go ahead and add that to the poll. Each one of these candles is a week. Imbalance, imbalance, there, boom, imbalance cleared. Price is going to move lower. This is no longer an imbalance right here because it was actually the filling of this right here. So I think price is going to move much lower. Regardless of this trend off of the break of structure here, and we didn't break a structure off of this. This is not a valid break of structure on the week, so I think price is in fact going to continue moving down. The daily says it is a break of structure. Just because price moved up that high doesn't mean it's going to continue going higher off the weekly. So I think today we are in the safe by saying yes, price is going to continue moving down. From this being the case, let's go ahead and mark out this here. This is the 30-minute. Let's go 20. Four. What in the world? Oh. Oops. Here we go. 4. Boom. 8. Boom. And 30. Boom. Just going to change this color over to a gray because we like to see what we're looking at. Let's head to the 5. Scooch on over. This one, 950. Golden. We have our time frame for trading. We have the sessions marked out. Moving up to the hour. Let's go to way the flip at. Whee. Gold. From here, up, down, highest point right there. That's a more clear indication of the high point on that one. Here, down, up, lowest point within market hours. There, boom. Down, up, lowest point there. Boom. Same story on the S&P. We do not care about this low. Highest point right now is this. Right now, that's the highest point London session has got to. As a result, we have our price action or our price range on both charts. And they're both telling the same story. Price is moving within this range, and per our daily bias, we want to see it continue moving down. I'm looking at a low here. This is just a general low to look at to ensure stuff. I'm going to add this in as part of my confluence, right? Because price can break past this low, specifically the one above what we just placed, right? Price can break past this low, but it could also just wick it. If it wicks that, it's going to continue moving higher in a reverse fashion. It'll try and break trend, so we'll be looking for a buy decision at that point. But if it closes below both of these lines, I know for a fact the daily bias is true. That price is going to continue moving down, and from there we can look for a short that we can 100% go into as a trade to become profit. We make it profitable. From here, boom, we are here. I'm looking for imbalances. I'm looking for building blocks. I'm looking for liquidity sweeps. I'm looking for anything that tells me price is going to continue moving down. Right now, for the hour, we're supposed to be waiting for price to hit a key level. That's after market open. And then these two candles specifically, we're looking for price to dip or touch this, right? If it closes below it, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. We're looking for a closure that's going to signal that price is in fact moving down. And we can determine if it's going to continue moving down based off of what this right here has to say. And again, we're not supposed to be doing this. It's not good practice. But I like using the building blocks on higher time frames as confluences that price is going to move in a direction without using daily bias as the thing. For the hour, price showed us exactly where it wanted to move. It moved way down. And on this candle here, this was the inverse that signaled price continue moving much, much further down. As a result, we got that. We're getting that. We're probably going to continue getting that till come trade time. So we have leg down, continuous downtrend, very consolidation trend on this note here. As you see, we're like within this leg up. We are very much so just in this. We're looking for shorts at the moment, so I'm going to do this right here. Take that right there as a decent take profit there. Again, we're looking for shorts, not longs. And we'll go down to this one. Take profit there. Wow. I think if price continues to move down the way it is, I don't think it's going to move past this take profit. I don't think it is. That is one serious leg down. This is on the hourly. Let's see if we can find anything on the daily. Find one there. Do I think there's a leg up and then some? I do believe that's a decent take profit. Clear that one. Clear that one. It might just clear that right there. Because again, this is on the daily. This is one leg up, and we are currently in that leg back down. This is the daily. What am I high on? This is the leg down, leg up, continuation down. What did this leg down do? We had this leg down here and created this low. We had a fair value gap there. What did that fair value gap fill? Looks like a breaker block, but an imbalance over here. It created an inverse fair value gap on the daily. As a result, price is going to move lower. From there, let's look at the weekly, because this is now 1, 2, 3 weeks. Technically, for maybe 5 weeks in the past that we're looking at those 3 take profits. Price is going to continue moving down. This low right here did not clear. Oh, no, no, no. It cleared this breaker block. From there, we have a leg up, our order block, leg down into this right here, swept liquidity, push price higher on the weekly. So what I think is going to happen is price is in fact going to move lower, and it might just take this take profit. I don't think in a day's time, in 8 hours worth of time, it's going to move all the way down here. I don't think it is. I think it'll move here though. I think it will. So from here, we're just going to look at this and go, okay, we're looking at this. This is our final take profit. I don't think I'm wanting or willing to wait for it to move down there. At least not on the safer side of the bets to take. So, that being said, let's go ahead and move back down to the hourly. Boom. Price is going to continue moving lower. Confirmation that price is going to continue moving lower is a closure between this line, if at all possible, this line as well. However, at the same time, there is an all-day thing that price is going to continue consolidating. Okay? Not that, this one right here. But for this right here, GBP/USD continues to consolidate, and that's on the daily forex. That's literally what that's not what we're looking at. It's just forex. Yeah. Interesting. Everyone's saying short too. For this right here, this demographic, everyone says short. And we are just before New York open. So as a result, that works. Do you believe price is going to continue moving lower? Per every confluence. This being the case, I think we are gold with our daily bias. We're not marrying it until we see it confirmed on the chart. Once it's confirmed, from there we'll work on building blocks leading up to the trade, at which point we might take a trade. depending on how market is moving and whether or not things go the way we want to, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll be right back. So something I guess I'm going to note. Not entirely sure how to go about this because, again, it's something I've just recently learned, right? This has delayed information, but if you have a broker that on TradingView with its package has a free setup where you can see real-time market movement, right? It's beneficial if you get the free version of it so that way you don't have to pay for it, and then from there you can see that version and then make your moves off of that. Kind of swept this low here, so I'm not really interested in that because the session low is already hit here. Again, we're interested in this price range, the high of the Asian to the low of whatever session we're currently in. The high has yet to get past on London, with the exception of the Asian, so we're looking within this price range for price to continue either down through a closure below this line or up through a closure above that line. From that being said, I'm going to see if I can get a hold of one of my brokers to see if I can see any charts in real time, because I'm very much so interested in actually making a reasonable leap from that. So, that being said, we'll be right back. We're going to watch this chart. We're going to take a trade on this chart because it's paper trading on TradingView. From there, we'll work that out. BRB. Okay. So, we have a new low on the London session. As you can see, we cleared that low I had before. I thought was going to be okay, but nope. Actually, it was somewhere over there. We have a new low though, new price range. This is London sessions. Still, as you can see, I marked it on both, just so we're on the same page. Not seeing any SMC divergence. I understand the difference in the market and what I did there. Boom. This matches up. This is on the hourly. Just so we're on the same page. I think per this candle right here, right? We swept this liquidity right here. I think we're going to see price move higher. Just in case. It moves lower, we have our stuff, but this looks like to me a sign of reversal. We had a break of structure on the higher time frame. This is a reversal on a retrace back down, showing that price might continue moving higher. Higher. What's a confirmation of this reversal? Break of structure back up to the upside. Yeah, this right here, or an inverse fair value gap. We have a fair value gap right here, which is an imbalance. I tried saying this was for a, what's it called though? This was the inverse fair value gap, right? Break structure says price is going to continue moving higher. Then from there, it's a matter of looking for a fair value gap, break block, or order block. I think could be wrong on this. We'll wait for market to tell us what it wants to do. If it closes above this line here, I'm tempted to say it's going to continue higher and thus break through this and again continue a new up, right? Or if it breaks through this, it'll continue down. Just a matter of waiting and seeing. We do have an imbalance here though that has not been, yeah, this imbalance does not fill anything over here. So this is a valid fair value gap at the moment. And as a result, we're waiting on price to tell us where it wants to go. I just got Trade Locker on my phone so I can start trading via phone. Yay. I'm looking at the same chart I am now. Now that's weird. so different. Oh, that's why. That doesn't make sense. That's why. There is. There we go. That makes more sense. Alright, now I've got the same view on this, same way I do on it. Because I'm on the 5 minute instead of the hour. Dirt to dirt. Because the TradingView app, this right here, showing such a delay, a 10-minute delay, this candle for me on app on Trading Locker is like 10 minutes behind, or actually ahead. Yeah. Yeah, it's ten minutes behind. So as a result, I were to go 30-minute on both. Looks about the same, but it is 100% different. I think we can rely more closely on Trade Locker than we can TradingView at the moment. That's okay though, because per TradingView we can look at Trade Locker and cross-reference the two. And while we're doing chart work on TradingView, we can look at Trade Locker, and from there, call our shots the way we see them. For the hour, it's the same chart though. Looking at a liquidity sweep to the downside on this candle right here. Realistically speaking, I think we saw liquidity right here. Price is going to continue down, try and stop out anyone who pressed buy over here. from that point, we should see a move up crossing this. When it closes above this line, I'm tempted to say let's go for a buy position. And from there, we'll just ride it higher, put our stop loss below this low. Because we are at the bottom of a retrace on the higher time frame. We shall see what happens in the next hour. We have 8:23 on the actual clock. I'm looking at 8:20. It is ahead. Its trading view is delayed. So. We'll be right back. Interesting gist here. So we are on the S&P 500 E-mini futures for this chart, right? It's the same chart for the video that I was linking earlier, right? And I'm looking at TradeLocker, which is a platform from which my broker is on, right? As you can see on TradingView, we have this gap here. But on TradeLocker, I'm going to mark this on TradeLocker as well, so that way we're on the same page. So you see what it is on TradingView. This is what I'm seeing on TradeLocker. There we go. Okay. Notice the difference there? In the event you can't, this right here. This right here was so much smaller a second ago on TradingView. And prices had to move. Price got to move much higher than TradingView is indicating. So we got that happening at the moment. They're the same chart, the exact same thing. Each one of these candles, exact same, except the current candle. Current candle, this candle specifically, is 10 minutes behind. The one on TradeLocker is not. So we should see price jump up to about right there, along that horizontal dotted line, right where the black one makes it perpendicular, it crosses it, and then it should come back down to about where it is now, actually. Yeah. We're just waiting on that. So just so we're on the same paint. Just so we're on the same page. We're not taking a trade on the TradeLocker. We're taking it on TradingView for video intensive purposes. We wish to make a profit off of TradingView. We're trying to get good at trading first before we get into real money. As a result, we're using TradingView. What I am going to do though is cross-reference this to TradeLocker, so that way when we go from paper trading to real money, it's as easy as looking at both charts and going, okay, I see where price was, I see where it is, and as a result, I know where it's going to go from current candle position standing, right? With that being the case, it's just a matter of waiting. And again, we're using our key levels to identify best entry position, and we're waiting for that to happen. We have up until 9:50 for price to cross one of the two lines. If it doesn't cross it, 10:30 is our limit. 10:30, we're out. We're not going to try and take a trade. Comment down below. What do you think I could do? Not to occupy my time, but to benefit one thing or another. There's some good root beer. Look at that. Starting to look a little bit more like we got going on here. Yep. Just a little bit. Gold. Right now, for what's it called? Trade locker price is like sitting right there on a green candle. So we should see before this closes. Kind of wish that showed. Sad. Oh wait there. Oh. Gold. Yeah, that's a 10-minute delay. I just found the option on Trade Locker to enable this right here using the same software. So this is in fact 10 minutes ahead of that, which means I can accurately call when this is gold. And because this isn't real time, I could use this to just watch the chart and from there enter on TradingView so that way I get the best trade possible while also using the app. This familiarizes me with the app and TradingView at the same time, and I can make much better trades with the cross-reference. It works, I think. I think it works. Does it seem like it works? I'm moving my mic around because I'm slowly realizing that it may not have been the best option to put it there. Though it's technically not in the way, I know the fan's hitting it, and it doesn't sound good. Alright. Right now I'm running 2 PCs. I'm looking at alternatives to getting a whole other capture card to go to my secondary desktop, right? In order to record the same output to both, right? It's currently what I'm doing. Trying to figure out what the best method to this is. Hey, look at that. That's right. 10 minutes ago. Again, we have until 10:30 to figure out if we're going to have a trade or not. Let's go ahead. I'm going to look at news one more time. See what has changed. Let's refresh this. Chicago PMI is at 945. We're not trading until 950, so we should see a change at 945. A breakout, if you will, for news. I'm not seeing anything else for USD. Seems we have some interesting stuff happening tomorrow. We have an FOMC folder tomorrow at 9 a.m. We have an FOMC folder. We might not be taking a trade on Tuesday. FOMC folder at 4:30 p.m. Wednesday. Maybe trade worthy. We'll see what it does. We'll see what price does. Double FOMC folder on Thursday. First one hits at 12 p.m. Are you looking at a rocky trade? Ooh, that's a lot of red. Hello, Friday. Red, red, red. Fed Chair Powell speaks. Double FMC folder. We are not taking a trade Friday. Whole lot of red, and we have an orange folder of FOMC. We're staying away from Friday. Looks like we have Wednesday. We'll see what Tuesday has to offer, but it looks like we're only trading Wednesday and Thursday. As for today, nothing's changed. We still have Chicago PMI, USD. Everything else is pretty much set and done. We have a CPI on Euro, but it's all day, so I don't know. That's not one of the ones we have to avoid either, if I'm not mistaken. No, it is. CPI is one of the ones we have to avoid. Double CPI on Euro, but a PMI Chicago. There's only one folder for today on USD, so I think it works. I think it does. Anyway, we're looking at this. Hopefully that fixed it. Ugh. Hello there. I see 6 minutes on this candle in trading view, but I'm seeing 56 minutes on the very next candle on TradeLog. So, that being the case, I am currently looking for a key level to get hit. Looks like we're about to have it hit too. If price continues moving higher, we'll have closed above this. We'll have actually touched this wick-wise. For us to know this is going to continue, it would need to close above it and then continue higher. In the event it only wicks it and continues down, we're looking for a close below this to know it continues moving down. Sounds simple. It's just a waiting game. Trying to figure that out. What are we looking specifically for when it comes to knowing whether or not price is wanting to continue down? We're looking for a liquidity sweep. It looks like the price has not swept this exactly. Let me go ahead and move this down. There we go. Yeah, price has not swept that liquidity yet. That's from this candle, right? But it did sweep this one. So, we're waiting on price to sweep liquidity from this level here. And that means it'll wick above this line, at which point we'll be looking for, we have that sign of reversal that price is going to continue moving down. At that point, we're going to be running for building blocks down to this key level here. Once we have that final sign of continuation, whether it be a break of structure or inverse fair value gap, we'll go ahead and press sell on a short, let it run down. We have 54 minutes before this candle specifically closes. We have another 45 minutes before we can begin looking for a trade, and that is actually right in line with what the hourly is doing. It's probably going to wait until the last second to actually give us a block we can run with, and from there we can work down to where we need to. For the app, we still have not closed. That makes sense. Doesn't feel like more than 2 seconds that I set this down, so we're just waiting patiently. I want to sign out of this and sign into the other one. I have an idea I want to try. We'll be right back. Interesting gist. It looks like price hit it. It did not, though. Very firm gap. In fact, we did this right here. Boom. Still didn't hit it. This is the exact high point between these two. Actually, it would have been this right here. But still, in either case, I'm looking at identify high, up, down, boom. This makes the most sense. It's crossed it. That's the highest point that market got to. I corrected myself. Woo. From this, that's also saying it's crossed. From this, we move down to the 5 minute. What are we looking for on the 5 minute? We are looking for a short position. We are looking for a break of structure, inverse fair value gap, or an S&T divergence. From here, we're looking for a fair value gap there, right? So we have a low time frame imbalance here. It was not the clearance of any other fair value gap, with the exception of this candle closed this imbalance, making this the inverse fair value gap for this candle, but for this candle right here, there's still an imbalance. So price is going to come back down into this. What are we looking for specifically? We're looking for a break of structure. The break of structure is a lower high off of this right here, right? It'll close below, it'll come up, but it will close below this high right here. As a result, we move down to our 5-minute continuation, which is a fair value gap. I would reverse this, invert this fair value gap, right? We're looking for a breaker block, an order block, or an equilibrium. Price to come back down into the equilibrium. What exactly are we looking for at this very moment? We're looking to take a short position. However, market is saying we want to move higher. So, buy position, potentially. Potentially buy position. Let that do its thing. We're looking for there. Hello. I believe we had a break of structure because we had a closure above this high here, and it was on this candle specifically. So as a result, break of structure is confirmation of a liquidity sweep down low that price is going to move higher. What are we looking for now? We're looking for, on the same 5-minute time frame, a fair value gap, breaker block, order block, or equilibrium. I'll take a quick peek at trade locker, see what it's doing there, because it did sweep liquidity there. So we're at the 5-minute. Zoom up on that. Boom. On the leg up, I can see the same thing. Because of the 10-minute delay, I see 2 more candles, 1, 2. They are both in a downtrend. I'm looking at a fair value gap at the moment. I'm looking at potential inverse fair value gap right now. This is an order block. We're looking for inverse fair value gap or break of structure. I think it's going to be best of us if we go ahead and enter now, but at the same time, we are not there. We are not there on either charts. 930 hasn't been hit. 950 has not been hit. We are currently waiting on time. Color me a bit, not confused, but does not look like we hit a key level on Trade Locker. This says we did, but I'm looking at something that's giving me more information. These 2 candles specifically. And it's saying that we have not hit where we wanted to. We have a minute for this candle to close. This candle will form a, because we've already got a order block. Right here. This leg down caused the move up. Sweep this liquidity here. At which point, price is going to barrel on down, clear this fair value gap here, which isn't a fair value gap because this was like bounced out, but it will close below between these 2 because there's still an imbalance here. When it closes between them on Trade Locker, we'll go ahead and press sell, I think, because that is our inverse fair value gap. And price at the moment is in equilibrium, I think. I think I want to take a step back at the moment. Wait for that break of structure to form. I want to see it make a higher low before I continue with anything else. Because we do have an order block. But that doesn't mean anything under the wrong set of confluences. I'm not seeing an S&T divergence on NASDAQ compared to this, so price is moving in the direction it's moving. That's with the 10-minute delay. This right here is saying the same thing. So, actually, wrong computer. Just to go to this one. Yeah, no S&T divergence. So we're waiting on confirmation through break of structure first that price is going to continue moving down for the reversal up high. Actually, it'd be higher because we saw a liquidity sweep here. Assuming this was the reversal, price is going to continue moving higher to break out of this downtrend we're in, and we did break structure onto this, which shows the change of trend. We swept that liquidity over here. General move is down. I want to see what this does first. I want to see the confirmation of that reversal up high. If we don't get the confirmation of the reversal up high, then I'm tempted to take this right here as the reversal between this line here and this line here. This being the liquidity sweep. We had our order block here. He's like up, cause the move down, sweep liquidity, at which point we're going to see price continue moving down. For confirmation and continuation, price has got to move down a little more and create a higher low, at which point we're going to be looking for either a fair value gap off of that low made, which means it'll go up, create a fair value gap on an up candle, and it'll be a large up candle, or it'll be a break of structure, an order block, or sorry, break of structure, breaker block or order block, which means we need to find the failed retrace, which will be on a breaker block. It'll be an up candle that is a smaller up candle, right? That small green candle is going to tell us, hey, that there's not enough buy orders, price is about to plummet. On an order block, essentially this right here, we're looking for a leg down, sweep liquidity up high even more so. From there, we move to the 1 minute. If we can't confidently say price is going to continue moving higher off of the confluences we find from the break of structure, I'm confident in saying we'll just use the equilibrium, at which point just wait for price to go into a discount. We know that this is a retrace and we have a break of structure that shows the change of trend. So price in right now is going to move up. How much higher? One, maybe. We didn't move higher. We didn't go higher than that. I'm going to fix that right quick. Boom. Maybe there. Maybe there. Maybe there. Whoops. We got 4 take profits. 4 reasonable safe. We'll do this too. Yeah. We'll keep that where it is. Just watch this. Okay. Okay, so we have an inverse for value gap now, which is the 5-minute confirmation of the reversal that price is going to continue moving down. At which point we wait for 5-minute continuation of fair value gap, break block, order block, equilibrium, right? Price is dancing on this app. Holy crap. Crazy. We are at 9:33. It is not our time to trade just yet. Looks like that one candle that we're currently on actually swept a lot of the imbalances from the candles that are currently forming on this right here. We have a minute 16 for this candle to close. I'm tempted to say we are going to see the fair value gap we're looking for. This candle we're currently on is about to touch another key level, the bottom key level that price is going to continue moving down. There it goes. Just wicked. 30 seconds to close. Five seconds. Closed at the key level. On this candle, if it closes and forms a fair value gap, we will have our guaranteed continuation confirmation. Price is going to continue moving lower. From that continuation mode will run down to the 1 minute on the break of structure inverse value gap. From there, we'll enter a sell position. That price is in fact going to continue going down. Like, I'm not kidding you. This candle that forms on the 8 o'clock moves all the way down and closes on this line just below it. We've wicked this line again on this candle here. Looks like we've got a fair value gap from that candle down to about right there. We still have 3.5 minutes for that to close. Let's see what it does. Looks like we are not going to get an inverse or a fair value gap off of it, so break of structure then. We did create a lower low off of that leg down. Looks like we swept liquidity over here. Well-defined swept liquidity. Let's go to the 1 hour right quick and see what's happening here. It came down and messed with this. I think on the hourly for this right here, we have, no, not 4 hour, this one. Yep. We did, in fact, sweep liquidity. We swept way past this, about, like, right there. Price is going to continue moving in that one trend, so we're looking for continuation mode. On the 5 minute, this would be an inverse fair value gap on this mode right here. We move down for a break of structure. Right now, we're in an uptrend. Break of structure would be the new low there. We got it. So we'd be looking for, on the 1 minute, a break of structure or inverse fair value gap to confirm that price is going to indeed continue moving down. Break of structure in a downtrend is a higher low. So that's what we're waiting on. An inverse fair value gap is also worth noting. Sell, it looks like short position is the way to go on this. $30 seconds for this candle to close. Let's see what it does. We put our stop loss just above this right here. Maybe above this high over here, just to keep it simple. All right, we have a break of structure. I think it's okay for us to sell. Boom. Let's go ahead and close this right quick. Zoom into this. We are on a short position. We're going to move our stop loss up here. Nice and good. Boom. Yes. Bring our take profits. way down here so it's out of the way. This is a 1-to-1 trade. I don't like the odds. Let's go ahead and go up to the 1 hour right quick and just look at some of this, because this is where we are. This is where the stop loss is. I'm looking to take profit on boom. So chart view, go down here. Yes. From here, we're just waiting for everything to go the way we want it to. Per the chart on this right here, we had a valid entry. We have a valid entry. It is not 950, it is 942. We are within our soft lock when it comes to the entrance. Per this chart, and it's 10 minutes ahead, we are crossed double over on this line here. So we should be seeing a return of a lot, hopefully. If this trade idea is correct, we'll have at least 2 take profits. Good to go. Just a matter of waiting and looking. We have a risk to reward of... Oops. That's 2,000, and our take profit is set all the way down at 11,700. If we're right, we'll make decent bread. With that being a thing, I'm going to go ahead and listen to some music. We're going to pause, and I'm just going to let it go. I have my eye on Trade Locker, so in the event something wants to do something here, I will have it reversed, and we will still be in the gold. I'm going to go listen to music now. BRB. Not going to lie, I have been very, very nerve-wracked over current price action. We entered off this candle here. This was our fair value gap at the time. As a result, we're watching what in the world is happening. Wow. Was not expecting that to happen. Looking at this though, we entered off of this being a fair value gap and a break of structure to the downside, thinking price would move lower. I've been watching steadily as this has been turned into an inverse for value gap. This would have been an optimal time for entry as well on the minute. And this is right after our 950. With any luck, it'll close above this right here and continue pushing onward down, making this an inverse for value gap right here, potentially closing up above this high. I imagine it'll get up to there, but it won't stop us out, and as a result, we'll continue to travel on down. Yeah. I need to be patient, just a little bit. We're gonna pause. Be right back. I'm looking at the chart on TradeLocker, and at the moment, looks like price is coming back down the way I said before. This will stop just short of this, so it'll come by, sweep this liquidity. It'll come right back down. It's a good thing we set it up here for our stop loss. Let's see exactly what happens here in the next couple of minutes. If we get a candle closure above this, I'm tempted to reverse the position, but at the same time, I'm looking at price action per the chart, and it does appear to be going in our direction. Yeah, it appears to be going in our favor. So we'll just sit here. I'm not even going to pause. I'm going to sit here and wait. I'm going to listen to my music. I'm going to work on OBS for computer number 2. And yeah, there should not be any audio coming through desktop stuff. So I'm listening to music as time goes on. Boom. Watching the next candle unfold on this same chart. You guys have that long green candle right here. It'll close like right in this. It should close like really close to the top of where it is now, right? It'll close up into there. And boom, I'm now watching this next candle right here form. It's actually just got through forming. It'll be a red candle. We'll have a red candle that goes up into this line here. It'll close below. Looking at a second candle form. It's also red. Seems we're experiencing a small amount of S&T divergence because I'm looking at a chart that says we are going down in price, not up. So here we're just waiting for it to come barreling on down, and right now I'm seeing 3 red candles. 30 seconds and it'll be 2 actually. This is currently what we're looking at. Prices wicked this again, swept this liquidity. We're just waiting for it to come barreling back down. We have our inverse fair value gap on the 5-minute, which is the we had our fair value gap that we entered off of, right? It inverted it on the 1-minute. We didn't wait for the invert. We actually caught it on the break of structure here, right? From there, should come barreling back on down. Right now, that's what I'm looking at is one very large red candle, and it's coming down. So let's see what price does. It was good. I'm looking at this leg up going, huh? This doesn't make sense because I'm looking at a chart that says we are on the down, not the up. This leg makes sense. Reps right here. I see these two on the chart I'm looking at. There's a green candle here, right? Two red candles down. A small green candle, and then it comes barreling back down. This is a bit different than what I'm looking at. Then again, this is currently 10:09. I'm looking at yeah, that's 10:20 that I'm looking at the moment. The time is 10:20, so current time is correct. That market is going to come down here in a second. If it doesn't, slight gist. Learning curve.
I realize I've been muted this whole time. That's on purpose. Working on PC. Believe I was talking to you guys while I was muted a second ago. Oops. Thank you. Finally. This thing took too long to install. Ugh. Okay. Now I'm looking this up. Oh. Yay. Cool. Cool. Comment section, we might get stopped out. I should continue moving down for the bias. I just ran through all of these in order just to. This makes sense. Price should continue moving down. This would be considered the order block. All 5 of these candles here. From here, I would need to look for the 1 minute. Boom. 1 minute. I'm looking for a break of structure. This is uptrend. Our break of structure doesn't happen until right here. We close below this low, creating a new low. Lower high, lower low, lower high. So price should continue moving down for the 1 minute. We entered prematurely here. Again, we were acting on confluences in this arc here, and price did move down, as you see. The trade idea was correct. However, there was no buying power in the market, and as a result, it had to come back up, sweep this liquidity, and now it's on the venture back down. No news. Yeah, we're past the PMI Chicago. I'm looking for no USD. No USD news folders as of yet. The Euro Red CPI folder, that was just grayed out for the refresh on that page. So every confluence is accounted for. Price should continue moving down. I was nervous. Now I'm not. I'm looking at a chart that's got a gap on it, but most of the candles are red, and it's actually within this that we see movements down. So just a matter of waiting for it to occur. I'm not tired, you're tired. Blah, 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 blah. Testing, testing. Okay. Sweet. Let's go ahead and see if I have that muted. Shouldn't. Good. Very, very good. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. 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 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh boy. That's not fun. We're just checking up on making sure this is accurate. Because right now, looks like it goes up a little bit, but it doesn't go past our stop loss here. We should not get stopped out on this. For the general trend, it's generally down. Just creating a new high right now, that's all. This is on the 1 minute. 5 minutes, same way. Generally speaking, we're on a downtrend. We had an imbalance here. I think that's what price is trying to do. It's trying to clear this. After it clears and closes above this, it'll come back down. Again, small high, generally speaking. Low direction though, which works. Okay, so let me see. Okay, I think that works. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. 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 Gold. Good. Okay. All right. That's set up. I think I have a workaround for current problem. It's just going to require me using both PCs and then pressing record seconds apart. But that works. I'll just line it up with the track, delete what's not needed, and then from there run it with the video, and all of a sudden I have 2 tracks spitting out the same thing. And from there, it's as simple as muting myself twice over, 3 times over actually, and then letting the audio play through. Now, I don't have to hear the audio because I'm getting it already from one PC. I have all my audio coming to this from one, and then audio from another going directly to OBS. OBS is the headset in this instance. So, audio PC, edit down, and I have 2 forms of the same video. Second form will be sent to somewhere for Patreon, and then, yeah. Consolidation. Ouch. We've only had this candle come down into here, but it was briefly. Boom, price has gone all the way up to there. What are we doing now? We're waiting for price to come down. What tells us price is going to come down? Well, we had a high here, and it has been swept. We were actually working off of this high here. It was swept. It was swept moreover. This liquidity sweep is the sign of reversal that we were wanting price to continue and to move back down. Actually, because we closed structure on this, right? This, use this to get very high up. This would have been our breaker block because we didn't get anywhere near enough to clear that, but it was enough to offset the market to sweep liquidity down here, pushing price high up above this. As a result of us sweeping this and clearing this set of, this block right here, price should continue moving down. We have 14 minutes before this closes. I was looking for a sell position to begin with, and we did take a sell position. From this, we would have needed price to wick into the downside, which it did, right? It wicked pretty far down into it, actually. We went all the way down there. You guys can see that. Kinda. You'll see it here in a second, more closely. Here on the 30-minute, same gist. We had it hit way down there. As a result, we had price a little higher.
swept that liquidity, this liquidity, this liquidity. Hasn't swept this liquidity. This is our stop loss. We really don't want it to sweep this liquidity because that would invalidate the trade idea for continuation because we were using lows. It did sweep that. Prices to continue moving downward off of this sweep here. Once this is done and out the way, this would have been the reversal. So on the downtrend and moving up, what gives us confirmation of that reversal? Break of structure, inverse for value gap. For this reversal, we got a break of structure here, break of structure there. Fair value gap afterwards for continuation moving higher. Where's our fair value gap? The fair value gap right here, it was inverted. That was inverted. We entered for this candle here. We actually waited a minute because I was doing something on the app itself. From that, we entered on this candle, thinking it would continue moving lower. And as a result, should I reverse the position? Comment section. Go down to the 5 minute. We have broke structure to the upside. Move to a higher high there. Tempted to reverse this. I'm itching to reverse it. I know if price continues up past this line, we will get stopped out. Inverse for value gap on the 5 minutes, which means price is going to have its continued way. Break of structure for confirmation of inverse for value gap. That would be this. Just the upside. I'm going to reverse it. This is off the session though. Yeah. That's not the session though. This one is right here. Boom. Modify. Good. Yay. And from this, we can move all the way up to there. Boom. Risk to reward is okay. Made a boo-boo on this part here. That was entirely on my fault. Big oof on my part because we entered prematurely. Oof. We'll be doing better next time. Saw this inverse for value gap after it breached the first just here on that candle back up break of structure. We didn't even have this actually. We didn't have this leg up. This leg up, inverted for value gap, made it move higher. So, from that, we are now in an uptrend, it seems. This is a retrace. On the daily, it looks... yeah.
I almost want to back out of this trade because I'm not seeing it move hardly anywhere. Price action is really just sitting on its butt right now. This was a retrace. We've had trades all the way up through this. This was Friday's trade. We actually took this and it was fire. Market does not know what it wants to do today. Trading within the trend, I see this as a leg down that's had its time. It hasn't closed, so we can't really say for sure it'll move higher, though we do have a fair value gap here, so I know price is drawn to it. This is not inverting a fair value gap that's over here, so this is a legitimate fair value gap. This fair value gap I thought was closing the imbalance here. Clearly I was wrong. There was no imbalance right there. As a result, we're probably going to see price move higher. So reversal of position, probably worthwhile. Probably. What do you guys think I should do? What would you do in this situation? Comment below. If you enjoyed this video so far, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't, what are you still doing here? Kid, I know you came to watch me. Anyway. If we come back into equilibrium, I am more than happy to leave this trade. Within that lovely zone we were in. I'm gonna go get another root beer. I'll be right back. Another root beer. Hi.
Bye-bye. Hi. Hello. Hi. Little luck. Hi. How you doing? What happened? Say again. Huh? La la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La la la. Little little little. Little little little. Just going around in circles. Looks like we're about to hit first take profit. Uber. Uber, be good. So I'm tired this minute. So we would have 100% been stopped out had we have continued for the short trade we were after. At least I was smart enough to catch it in time. So now we're making a lot more profit than we would have if I hadn't have. That is one large, like, had I caught it down here, that was a large spread. So I see my mistake now. First off was cross-referencing, when I should have been able to tell that from the get-go. This right here, this would have been our liquidity sweep. Right here. Swept this high. From that, price came up, retested, right? Barreled back down. And that would have been a good take profit. However, on this note right here, we had a breaker block. Lack of sell orders in the market gave price the opportunity to close all of this inverse for value gap, just straight up. From there, we had, again, lack of sell, and we finally got a lack of buy orders. This leg up here. And as a result, on this next retrace, we had a failed retrace with a breaker block there. Lack of buy orders. Price plummeted, but it was a smooth round out. Because there was no sell or buy orders within the market, sell orders took over buy orders had to rest, and that's what price did. It essentially said, "Oh, look, we're good to go," and it had enough momentum to continue moving higher. We were in a bit of a consolidation, and it wasn't until about right here that we managed to catch on to, oh, this is an uptrend. Let's go ahead and swap position. That's what we did. Now we're waiting for price to continue to break through these three take profits here. Our last take profit is all the way up here. We have a 1 to 2.39 risk to reward ratio, which in my opinion is okay. It is smarter than the, what was it, 1 to 9.8 I had earlier. That would have been a fire trade had we actually gotten a short position off on it. We didn't. We would have been stopped out had I didn't trade that. Had I chose not to reverse that position. So, good call, but too late on my part. And I'm completely serious. If this comes back down into equilibrium down here, I will leave this trade because I am not about to deal with it anymore of this jump around crap. Just not fun. Root beer is good. I'm gonna have heartburn later. Oh well. The chart on this trade locker says we are going up past all this right here. It says we are. Chicken, root beer. Hi. Hello. What? 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 Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Ooh, baby. He adventures and then babbles and then adventures and then babbles more. Little trip, fall, get up, start battling. I'm doing this now. Oh. Okay, so I would have to minimize all of that. Open that up. Hopefully my computer doesn't explode from doing this. But this right here works.
Knew something was gonna happen. Okay. So that works, in my opinion. I now know how to do that, which is perfect for what I'm trying to do. Patreon is a viable solution. And I don't have to worry about video caps. I stream 4 hours a day, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. At the end of stream, I will have 2 videos. One will be a VOD of literally what you hear on stream, so completely censored, whatnot. If you're interested in the uncensored, unfiltered, undoctored form of the live stream, check out my Patreon. Link can be found in the description down below, as well as the description of the channel and the pinned comment. I am working on actually getting used to doing pinned comments. I typically do those during Tuesdays, Thursdays, and the weekends. More often than not on the weekends. Um, yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I'll do from here on. Hey, we hit our first take profit, which was $500. We need to get better at this. I need to get much better at this because that was a miss. This was a miss. Ouch. We're making it back though, slowly but surely. We got that much to gain. We're waiting to see what happens here. We've got literally all of this right here. I imagine it'll clear this right here. Maybe up into this. It'll consolidate into this. Then it'll continue moving higher. I imagine reversals aren't a thing on actual live accounts because that would defeat the purpose of, you know, knowing whether or not your trade idea was correct. So, next trade we do. I'm going to do everything I can not to use the reversal feature on TradingView. I'm going to do what I can not to use that. Because it's a good failsafe for TradingView. It's learning, it's a teaching tool. Use it when you see a mistake made. I need to get off of that. I need to wean myself from it. To become a better trader. To become a more profitable trader. Needs to be a thing. We get in there in comment section. Slowly. We turned an oof moment into an okay moment. It's been a steady increase. Now I'm looking at a 1 to like 0.7. I think we made a mistake. We made several mistakes. First off, we entered too early. We jumped the gun. If we had caught this, knowing this was going to happen, this leap up would have been much more worth taking. And then second mistake, thinking we could flip it right when we were about to get stopped out, when we should have flipped it right here. Price was in discount. We could have flipped the position and been fine. We've held on to the price. We've held on to our share for this long. I think what I want to do to exit market in the best way, I want to see price move higher. We swept this liquidity here. Sign of reversal, price is going to move higher from here. How much higher? My hope is to this line. I don't care how close it gets, so long as it's within this line to this line, within this zone. That is where I'm going to close position. Because it is now 12. Right now it is 12:30. This has a 10-minute delay on it. And I'm looking at a large up spike on the Trade Locker app. The movements are out of sync. So reading cross-reference wise, the chart to chart makes sense up until you get to the part where there's a bit of desync happening. It's annoying to have to remedy where it might be going, where it might not be. You get the point. I'm seeing 12:30 on that time. I see 12:30 over here, and I'm seeing this right here at 12:20. Which means price is all the way right here. And there is supposed to be one leg up into this line here. So that's what we're going to wait on. Hope it's right. If you enjoyed this video, I understand it's kind of a long one. I've been recording for roughly 4 hours and 30 minutes. Exponentially longer than I was honestly caring for it to be. I'll probably edit it down so it's a little bit shorter for you guys. But yeah, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Comment below what I could do to improve the quality of the video. What I can do to fix this, because I think I've done pretty well at identifying what mistakes we did make and where we want to go for next next video. Next trade, we're not going to be making as many mistakes. We jumped the gun, definitely. Per this app, it was a good trade. Very good trade, but seems TradingView is just not having fun at the moment. We're still in the general uptrend, but this, per the app I'm looking at, is up here. And it's got a 10-minute delay, which means this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up there. That's what I'm looking at right now. So, yeah. As soon as I see it hit up there, I'm going to close the position, call it a night. Call it a day, actually, because I'm not going to sleep. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Drop a subscribe in the event you find yourself new or on the comeback, or honestly, more interested in where this takes me in life. From that, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. 1200 on that. 13. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.